It is nighttime in Eternia. The moon is right. Skeletor is wrong because all you can see is his hand. Now I wanted to show you this because this is a much like Dungeons and Dragons. Almost 50 years since that game, right? I created a role-playing game. Now what uh, you'll need a tablet. So here's the tablet. Or you could use paper and pens, maybe rainbow pens, red, blue, green, black, lime green, pink, purple, brown, orange. There's different kind of color pens if you go to Office Depot, Staples. And what you'll need three things actually. So you'll need a tablet or paper and pens. You'll need this. This is the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Character Guide and World Compendium. It's an encyclopedia. So it's the He-Man Encyclopedia. The last thing you'll need is knowledge of the lore. That's the most important part. You need to know how the lore works. So it's unfortunate most people may not know the lore like they want to, but they try. So what I'm going to do right now is this is a demo. So I'm just going to walk you through what I did I'm play testing. Also, you'll need some dice. In here, this is my my treasure chest dice. I keep the Battle Ball dice in here and some of the dice from Magic the Gathering. This is my treasure trove of dice. We always use these in Dungeons and Dragons and whatnot. But you'll also need that. Maybe a coin for coin tosses. Because once you understand the lore, once you understand all the heroes and villains, the villagers, the demons, the creatures, this book is divided into sections for like the battle cats and the panthers, the birds, plot devices, weapons, spells, vehicles. So if you understand how all that stuff works, then better you can understand exactly how to play the game. But honestly, it's just you have to know how to play this stuff. It's kind of like in a way, it's like not only Dungeons and Dragons, but what is the other one? Cyberpunk 2020. Anyway, I'm droning on here. So let me walk you through this. We're gonna look at the tablet first, and then I'll tell you what we have here. Okay. Now we're gonna go through this step by step. Who are you? Right? The first question is, who are you? Now, the way this is like Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail, it's not like, so there's two kinds of He-Man games you can play. One would be like chess, in which you're playing one team against the other team to capture the flag, to win the territory, right? You could do that with Battleground, that board game that came out where you have to put the pieces together and assemble them. But I'd rather do that with Magic the Gathering or King Me, right? Where you're claiming territory, claim the crowns. But this is an Oregon Trail style RPG, okay? You're a person, you're a person or a creature, and you're going from one point to the other point. You have a goal. It's depending on what kind of character you are. So here you are Chief Narwhal. Now Chief Narwhal is like a walrus type dude. We're going to look through this right now. I'll find Chief Narwhal. Da, 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 da. So some of these entries have one thing, and some of the entries have other things. But we're going to try to find everything. If I can find everything, fantastic. If I can, I'm fucked. Chief, there he is. Okay. So this is Chief Narwhal. And I will read to you the caption. That's what he looks like. Now, Chief Narwhal is from the Filmation universe. Chief of the Selkies sounds like a walrus people. Chief Narwhal was the elderly leader of the Selkies, a race of walrus-like beings who dwelled in the Kingdom of the Snows. He was respected by the Selkies as well as Frosta and her snow people. When war began to loom between the two races, he was quick to end the conflict and overcome his people's thirst for battle. So that's who he is. He's not a magic character. The strongest beings are like Skeletor and Hordak, right? Like Skeletor is a magic dude. He's got magic powers. Chief Narwhal is just a humanized walrus. And like a tribal guy, okay? Like once you understand that, then you can understand that it's easy to. Um, Let me just kind of lower this a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna lower the music a little bit. Okay, so now you're Chief Narwhal. Where is my tablet? So, and keep in mind, Chief Narwhal is not on Eternia. He's supposed to be in Etheria. But here, where are you? So who you are and then where you are is Basilia. Kind of sounds like the, or Barria, sounds like the noodle company. So you go to the places. So there's different sections in this book. This is kind of boring, but there's locations in here. So Basilia. Okay, here we go. Basilia. Okay. This is it. This is Basilia. Right here. So this is an abandoned place. Basilia was a relatively small Eternian village composed of futuristic structures built above and below and within its mountainous environment. So these are in the mountains in Eternia. And Eternia, so Eternia and Etheria are two different places. So Chief Narwhal is in Basilia, but he can't stay in that place. He's got to go back to his village in Etheria, to Shira's home. So the goal is to return to his village in Etheria. Is there anyone there with you? So, and how I determined what character I would play as, if I can show you. I always roll these 2 die. These are 9 die. And the 9 die have, these are battle ball dice, by the way. They have 0 through 9. These 2 numbers always stay the same and you don't re-roll them. And based on the numbers in the content, table of content, there's no table of contents, but if you go through this book, you'll find which numbers and which, whether it's the 100s or 200s. I think in the case of who you start off with, it's in the first 300 pages. So if you get, like, say 96 and 396 goes to another section, then you have to either choose 96, 196, or 296, something like that. So you kind of determine who you are and what's your location. And then what you do is say, is there anybody with you? You flip a coin, and then that coin says yes or no, heads or tails. And then 1 to 6 people on this 1 die will tell you how many people are accompanying you. So in the case of this, we have 1 to 6 people here. So I think we need a little music here. Okay, sorry. 6 people. Okay, so I rolled the dice. So Beskida is a little girl, little blonde girl who doesn't have any powers. Magneto, Boomerang Vendor. All these characters here that you see are in the book, are in this encyclopedia. Yuckers is a Trollan like Orko. It's unknown if he has magic, but he might have magic. I think I ruled that he did. Kags. Oh, Kags is from the new He-Man 1990s show. She's got like a blaster of some type. She's like a soldier. She's like Teela, but not exactly Teela. Strong Arm. Now these guys are in blue. If you, in the case of Magneto Boomerang Vendor, I made him gray because in the encyclopedia, it's not determined whether or not the vendor is a good guy or a bad guy. So I flipped a coin and I determined that the Magneto Boomerang Vendor is a good guy, a hero. Strong Arm is in red. He is a bad guy. Strong Arm looks like this. So, and Dogator is a hero from the ancient times before He-Man. After the second Battleground and before He-Man's, Prince Adam's time, actually. So let me see if I can find Dogator, because he's the first significant villain you go after. So you go through these and you try to figure out which ones which looks like Side Shop, but not exactly Side Shop. I will find this guy. I will find the so-called... This one's Dogator, but I need to find That's Dogator. And then Strong Arm is in here. So I'm going through all this. Strong Arm. Which one is Strong Arm? Gotta be joking me. Gotta be joking. Hold on. You have to go through this real quick, right quick. Seahawk, Senex, Songster. I think Songster's from the Power Tour. Sorceress, Stanlin, Stinkor, Cyclone. Okay, so Strong Arm is in one of these damn pages. That's him. Okay, so this is Strong Arm right here. This is the first villain you encounter. And we got the tablet in the damn way. Hold on. Oh, please, God, oh, fucking mighty, don't do that. Okay, that's him right here. That is Strong Arm. Can I show that? Can I show that? Okay, that's Strong Arm. Strong Arm possessed great brute strength and a large, mechanically extendable right arm. His strength was almost a match for He-Man, capable and competent, and he delighted Skeletor with his intelligence. So, he was originally in the old cartoons, and then he became a classics figure. I think I could show that. That's him right there. You can barely see him, but that's him. In the new one, let's see. What is his name? Dalmas Fu was working as a master metal worker in the Phantom Mines on Phantos as a mechanical press folder malfunctioned and damaged his right arm and part of his face. The accident motivated him to steal Photanium, the universe's strongest metal, and create for himself a mask and telescoping arm to become the strongest menace in the universe. Elmora, the queen of the Phantos, banished him for his thievery. He returned years later as Strong Ore to plunder the mines and better arm Skeletor's forces against the Masters. So yeah, that's the first bad guy. So keep in mind, I randomly picked these characters. These are random using these dice. So with these dice, I can just randomly do this. And let's go back to what we have here. Okay. So now what are my starting items? So after you determine who you are, where you are, what the goal is there anyone with you? And then what are your starting items? And then let's see. Okay. I'm going to turn the music off here. Robot Spy is Chief Narwhal's item. It's avoid enemies with a coin toss. Magneto Boomerang Vendor. Magneto Boomerang. You can steal all metal objects. Yuckers has Frosted's ice magic. So I determined that Yuckers is a magician, but not a very good one. Now, Kags, I rolled this one by accident, but she has the Sword of Power. She has Prince Adam's He-Man sword. So she can withstand. So the way I determined is that if you don't, so it's like Oregon Trail where people can die. Children can die after 10 miles of walking. Ordinary people can die after 20 miles or start to die. Like every 10 miles, the child's health starts to wane. After 20 miles, it happens to ordinary people, ordinary adults. For warriors, 50 miles. So every 50 miles, it goes from good, excellent to good to fair to bad. So it would take 40 miles for a child to die, and it would take 80 for an adult, and for a warrior, maybe 200. So that's how that works. Eternium can be fashioned to armor and traded. That's Dogator's. Eternium can be fashioned to armor or traded for something else. Beskida, Book of Evil. Okay, so there's two different. Okay, Beskida has the Book of Evil. Can be used to lure enemies. So the first battle is with Strong Arm. Strong Arm starting weapons, Zeronite. Detects enemies from 10 miles away. So I go into the book and find that there's different plot device items. Now this is between Dogator versus Strong Arm, and I use a 9 die to determine the battle outcome. The lowest number wins because that's how Battle Ball works. If you know Battle Ball, it's that little football game. So Dogator wins and he obtains the Zeronite. So now they have 2 different items to detect enemies and avoid battles if they have to. It is 2,000 miles to Eternia Palace. Now, I have a map of Eternia that's from my comic books that I can actually determine how to, like, say something is 2,000 miles away. Some heroes may not survive based on walking distance alone. Because Kaggs has the sword of power, she can go 200 miles before her health deteriorates. So she can withstand a lot more. 1980 miles. So we're going by 20 miles now because of the adults. Magneto's is good. Everybody has good. Kaggs and Yuckers is excellent. Chief Narwhal is good because he's the starting character. Are there now if the starting character dies, it's the end of the game. If all the characters die, it's the end of the game. Are there any enemies nearby? Yes. One. Flip a coin toss. Second, but it's not an enemy. It actually ends up being Zodak. Now Zodak is the in case nobody ever really knows, I'll show you before we close out. Zodak is a cosmic enforcer. And he really doesn't take sides. I shall show you. He's like the last entry. He's got to be the last entry. We also have monsters. We have races of people. So there's different things you can do. Different people you can be. Beasts, creatures, and monsters. And chapter 3 is factions, organizations, species, and races. So you can go up to 400 pages and be whatever. You could be a typical character, or you could be more. You can be the character. There's Zodak with a K. That's an African American or a black character, since there's no Africa in Eternia. That is Zodak. That there is Zodak. And so Zodak runs into our 7 heroes, I think. I think it's 7 people. I can't remember. It's not likely for me to remember. So upon discovering the 6 heroes on their journey, right, it is 6 people because the last one was Strongarm, who was a villain. Upon discovering the 6 on their journey, the Cosmic Enforcer Zodak returns Chief Narwhal and his friends to their proper homes on Eternia, Etheria, and Trala. The Master Sword was returned to Prince Adam at Eternia Palace. Now, why is it so quickly written this way? Because Zodak has the power. He has cosmic power. And he can do anything like that. He's like the ultimate plot device ender. But not every game will be like this. I'm trying to play some more scenarios. But this is the way you do it. This is the stencil. And as long as you follow this, it's easy to do it. But it's more like rolling certain dice and trying to get lucky. I try to avoid the math. I try to avoid too many mathematical mechanics with this. And I just keep it simple. It's like you're playing, but as an adult. You know, when you're a child, you just do whatever. But when you're an adult, you kind of have a more organized thing. And that's what I came up with. And I'm glad I came up with it. And that's it. That's the game. And that is something to me. That was Masters of the Universe RPG. That was the tablet. And this is the book. That's it. That was something to me.